Hey guys, what's up? Yes, vapor, whatever. No, there's no nicotine in this. I have not broken my vows. I'm not imbibing any nicotine, or that's a video for another time. Anyway, doing this video for a couple of reasons. One, earlier tonight I did a hangout with Skallagrim Nilsson again. This time 40-minute, basically a 40-minute video, 41-minute video on swords, specifically on dual wielding and its actual use in history. You might be surprised with what we come up with, though I'm pretty sure there are going to be a lot of naysayers. But for those of you guys who haven't seen it or didn't know we were doing it, I'll put the link in the video description. Check it out. It's, I had fun with it. I always have fun with the Hangouts with Skull. Second thing I wanted to mention is, speaking of Hangouts, I'm really enjoying the Hangout thing a lot, and we seem to be working out the rather unique properties of Google's Hangout system. So now that I kind of get the feel for it, more or less, I would like to continue it on my channel as well. We've mostly been Skull's been mostly hosting them because he's got the wider install base. He's got the bigger subscriber base, so he feels that more people would watch it if he was hosting it. And that's cool. But I had also wanted to do Hangouts specifically so I could talk to a group of people, specific group of people. There are several people on YouTube who I've known for some time, or at least, enjoyed their stuff on YouTube, who I would love to be able to have something of a chat with, so we can have a back and forth, and also just, to get more of our ideas out there, and also maybe just to show another side of ourselves in case we happen to speak about topics that other than serious. But, there's several people I would love to do a series with. Like Richard Roy, for instance. He's been a subscriber for quite some time. We've shared, I've done videos, he's done response videos. I usually like his responses. I like his comments that usually he's behind. I owe a hangout with that dude. I would love to do one with him. Let's see, Ella, who stuff I've watched and found rather interesting. If she ever had the time, I wouldn't mind doing a hangout with her. Ruby Dynamite, if she ever comes out of the shadows again, I wouldn't mind doing a hangout with her. Obviously more with Skull, that would be cool. Who else? There's another dude I really wish I could freaking remember the name of this dude. We've been talking more on Skype lately, and I've already told him I'd love to do a hangout with him because his perspective on, he's actually originally from Norway, he's now living in Japan, and his unique insight on politics and his take on what's going on in the United States I find very interesting, and I would love to have a hangout with him because we've had some really good discussions on Skype. Hell, I wouldn't mind having discussions with people who I wouldn't necessarily think would want to necessarily have a discussion with me, or maybe they're too busy. Like whatchamacallit? Why can't I think? The Skeptical Heretic, for instance. I've had a little bit of a back and forth with him before. Definitely wouldn't mind picking his brain. That would be interesting. Plus, he's into video games. I'm into video, whatever. And again, these names I'm mentioning, I'm not expecting that's instantly going to happen, but that's the reason why I started the Hangout thing. Like, when I said I have like a chat with Skallagrim Nilsson as one of my videos, I wanted to do a series on that, where it's like a chat with so-and-so. And, we just shoot the breeze and, pick each other's brain on certain topics, both serious and not. And hopefully maybe I can get that off the ground. I really would. Like I said, I got a list of people I would love to be able to do that with. So I'm just putting that out there for you guys. That's what's on my mind. Actually, I haven't put up any content in a while, and this is not exactly like straight up serious content, and I'm sorry about that. The reason for this is tonight is the first night in a while that I've actually had a night off from work. All last week and a good chunk of the week before that and some time of the week before, I've not really had days off. I've been working straight through the holidays, just work, 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 work. This is the first break I've had in several weeks now. So that's why you haven't really been seeing content. Sorry, but that's what it is. I apologize for that. It looks like I'm probably going to have some more time opening up soon, and hopefully I can finally get some content rolling out. But until then, to tide you guys over, let me share with you something that's been on my mind lately. And I have to apologize right off the bat. This isn't an original topic. I know it's stuff that other people have touched on before. I guess it's just me ranting on the same thing, so whatever. But it's on this whole freedom of speech or freedom of whatever thing that I've been watching videos and I've been checking out conversations and stuff as I usually do. And Sometimes I have found, well, not sometimes, it's all the time it happens that if somebody says something that's offensive or stupid or baseless, you know, unfounded or whatever, and somebody else brings them the task for that, if somebody actually, you know, points out that what you said was, you know, unfounded or offensive, that they, you know, call them out for what they were saying, the original speakers usually, many times, if they, especially if they're assholes, will always say some crap about, you're limiting my freedom of speech, or I have a right to say what I want, and whatever crap. I have a right to express my opinion. And it's really freaking annoying to come across that all the time. Not because it's usually the assholes who do it, but because they keep using that whole freedom of speech, like saying, it's my freedom of speech. They keep bringing that up wrong. And right off the bat, I know some of you guys are going to be talking about like, yeah, we know, you know, because the whole thing about freedom of speech is it really doesn't have much to do with private citizens censoring each other. It's more about government doesn't have the right to trample on you being able to say whatever you want, particularly when it comes to criticizing them or saying something against them or, you know, their policies or whatever. Yes, I understand that and I agree with that, but that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm actually talking about in terms of how they're using it wrongly is that they seem to think that when they bring that up, it exempts them from responsibility for what they're saying, or it exempts them from any type of consequences for what they're saying. And I know other people have brought this up, but it's really, I really think this needs to be stressed, especially since ignorance just seems to keep growing and growing, it seems, in this country on things. Any meatheads who don't seem to understand this concept, listen up. Freedom is not just you being able to just do whatever you want without consequences. Freedom also equals responsibility. You being able to own up to your words, your deeds, and your personality, who you are. To be free is to own who you are completely. Your thoughts, your actions, your philosophies. When you are free, you have no one to answer to but yourself. And you have no one to blame for what you do other than yourself. Therefore, you have to take responsibility for what you do and say if you claim to be free or have freedoms. And that also means being able to accept the consequences for what you do, good or bad. That's what it means to be free. This is also why I also happen to like saying that not many people truly want to be free completely. Well, they want to be free in terms of how much they can enjoy about it. But actually owning up to the responsibility, that's a different thing altogether. Especially, hell, we don't even have to go that far. Just in making decisions, I find few people are willing to be that free. Sooner or later, they're going to ask somebody else for what to do if they're in a particular situation where they don't know what the answer is or don't know how to proceed and they don't want to be wrong, so they're going to ask somebody else or consult some book or look up some philosophy or check some religious guru and find out what they have to say. They rarely will actually decide to jump into the unbeaten path or like, well, let me figure this out.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
You know, it's a very scary thing for human beings to be able to forge their own path. And granted, some people may argue that, well, if somebody else has already figured out the answer, why not go by that? Okay, I can understand that, but at the same time, wouldn't it be nice to at least test to see if that answer was correct before just jumping onto it because it's an answer? Just because it's an answer doesn't mean it's a good one or necessarily a good one for you. And if you are truly going to be free, even if you do decide to go with the other path or go with the other, you know, pick another particular decision, ultimately you still chose that decision, and you should at least have enough brains if you're going to be free, or at least enough of a sense of self to like, okay, let me see if this answer is good for me, and then know that you yourself chose to make that decision. Own up to it. That's what it truly means to be free, to take responsibility for what you do. Even if it's like something else or you take it from somewhere else, you then make it your own. And then you manifest it, and then, of course, take responsibility for what you've done afterwards and accept the consequences for what they should be. To truly walk the path of God, as it were. I'm just throwing that out there. You can't have freedom without responsibilities. You just, I mean, I don't want to say irresponsible because I'm repeating the term, but it's incredibly destructive to not understand that, because to just be able to think that you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want without accepting the consequences. I think we got plenty of examples in history and even like today in current events of what happens when people think that they can do what they want without owning up to themselves or to what they're doing. It's a big problem. But it doesn't really matter where you happen to fall on a philosophical line of thinking or a religious line of thinking or whatever. Excuse me. Steps on running past. It doesn't really matter where you fall on that. Sooner or later, you will find people like conservatives are all about screaming at people who need to be responsible. Progressives are screaming at certain groups to be more responsible. Responsibility seems to be one of the major things that we hold to be important. Well, if you're going to claim to have freedoms, you need to be responsible for what you do and what you say, which goes back to this whole freedom of speech. If you're using freedom of speech to exempt yourself from accepting responsibility for what you're doing and accepting the consequences for saying something stupid, you're not upholding the principles of those freedoms. You're not really deserving of having those freedoms if you're not willing to own up to, what you said and accept that what you do will have consequences, either good or ill. Maybe what you said will actually has some merit. In which case, prove it. Or wait for it to prove itself in the end or something. But realize that whatever you do, whatever you say is going to have consequences. And you have to own up to that. Yeah, I said that. Yes, I did it. If you have to apologize for it, fine. If you have to correct yourself, fine. But at least you'll get respect for owning up to who you are and what you're doing. Otherwise, you can't say that you're all about freedom. You're just all about getting all the benefits. But you're not willing to actually work for it. You're not willing to lift the burden that it would take. Everybody's willing to go for the crown. Nobody's willing to actually rule, efficiently. They just want all the money. They just want all the benefits. Too many human beings are like that. They want all the benefits. They want the gratification. They don't want to do the work, and they don't want to deal with what it takes to maintain that position. And that's a sad state of affairs. But I don't really need to get into that. This is going into too long, and I'm getting into ranting and all that now. But that's been on my mind lately, especially with, looking at current events and governments and things like that. That's really been on my mind. So that's that. Hopefully I'll have some better stuff for you guys. Tomorrow, actually, I know tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I was going to be doing something, New Year, like in the evening, just before the year changes. What I was planning on doing was doing a little bit of a hangout-ish sort of thing with Skull, and it's more of a lighthearted, fun thing where what I was going to do was I finally got Dark Souls on my PC. Still kind of fine-tuning the resolution because it's kind of choppy, but whatever. This is an old machine. I wanted to run through and basically show him and a couple of other people who haven't played the game before or are interested what I think beginners should do if they want to first jump into the game. These are the things, if you've just jumped in, you haven't played before, you don't know all the secrets, you don't know all the shortcuts, these are the things I think that they should do in order to get a leg up on the game when it first started. Because we know how rough Dark Souls can be. And I know a few little tricks that is this is what you do at the beginning, so that you're already going to have, a leg up on, handling some of the challenges that you're going to face in the beginning. That's what I want to do. I was going to do it in the evening. It's now looking like I might have to do that in the afternoon. It's probably what's going to be, sometime. I'll let you guys know, but most likely it's going to be around the afternoon-ish. I'll set it up. If we can get it working smoothly, then I'll do it. We'll laugh, have some fun. If I'm able to go past that, and then my wife and her friend is the peanut gallery or whatever. But I'm going to be giving tips and I'm going to be showing some stuff. And if I decide to keep pushing it on, then what I'm probably going to do is let's see how long I can go before I die. Unintentionally die. Because there are some times when you're actually going to kill yourself in the game. I'll get into that later. So, yeah, that's a tentative thing for tomorrow. And actually, tonight, I'm actually going to be up for a little while longer. I already know, right now, it's 1:36 a.m. Central Time. And I'm still going to be up for a little while longer. When I put this up, if any of you guys are interested, any of you guys, hit me with a PM or maybe a comment or something. If you are interested, I can set up a very quick hangout just to chill, and I might set up an early Dark Souls-ish sort of running through and just being stupid and seeing how long it takes before I die or whatever. If you are interested in that, you got 20 minutes after the video goes up to let me know. Because if I don't see anything after that, I'm just going to, do my own thing. But, I'm just throwing this out there because I'm, kind of bored. I know some people want to chat with me and such. So there you go. So yeah, hope to put out some more content for you guys later. Hope to actually, be deserving of your guys' support because I know it's been a while since I put out anything, decent content. I know it's been a very dry year for me in putting stuff up on the channel. I do plan on, getting this channel in shape. I still need to redo the playlists. I still need to put out the stuff that I wanted to put out that I already talked about before. It's in here, trust me. It's on my mind. It's just the past few weeks have been really bad for me to do any of that. This is my first real night to myself. So anyway, enough of that. Catch you guys later.